What's up, everybody, and welcome to iOS3 Raw TV. Ended off the week this week with an injury, with a back injury. Many times when I'm training too heavy, and it's not usually while I'm doing the exercise, it happens when I'm like walking out in a squat, or I was walking out, this case, walking out with a barbell for barbell rows, and I got to hit failure on barbell rows. When I walked in and to put it back in the rack, I felt something twinge. And sure enough, that was the start of it. Usually my vertebrae and discs will kind of go out of place. My hip stops rotating and goes out of place. And then I have some issues. I have some pain where it must be pushing on nerves that causes this pain, because it's an excruciating pain. So it wasn't too bad on Thursday when I decided to squat, which was probably a stupid idea. And I went ahead and tried to squat. I got a couple sets in, and my third heaviest set, I felt it. I picked the weight up. I only had 315 on the bar. I picked it up and I felt it right away. I was compressing something on my spine, so I just put the weight down. Decided to go to the chiro and get adjusted. You guys saw Dr. David Capps adjusting me in one of the videos that's here on iOS3 training. And I actually wound up missing a competition that was in Woodbridge, Virginia that we were going to go to. And just so happens that competition, heavyweight winner, who I didn't even know he was coming out. I wish I would have known, Mark Lobliner. He came out here. He won his division, the heavyweight division, and in a controversial fashion lost the overall to a guy that was smaller and smoother than him. Now normally, if you're bigger than the guy and you outweigh him by like 70 pounds and your condition is better, doesn't matter what kind of natural symmetry the smaller guys have, that's 2 out of 3 qualities. 2 out of 3 beats the one every time. But I didn't see the pictures, I didn't see the show because I actually didn't go. And then I wish I had gone because I haven't actually met Mark in person. And I'm looking forward to crossing paths with him at some time and meeting him in person and just talking to him. But congratulations, Lobliner, for winning your class at the Woodbridge, Virginia show. And now he's heading on to something in Ohio, I think, in a few weeks, which is a NABA show. I think he's getting out of the NPC for this show to see what he can do over there. So good luck at that show, Mark, and congratulations on your placing there. Now, that being said, while I'm sitting here on the mend, we'll go ahead and make a video about emotional response after your steroid cycles. So I'm getting some questions, and they're good questions, about how should you feel emotionally when you come off gear. Well, the reason why these people are asking that is because they don't feel right. They don't feel normal. They feel something is off. And that's absolutely true. If you're taking prescription testosterone, or you're taking some kind of pro-hormone that is decreasing your body's natural testosterone, naturally now you have a higher level of estrogen when you stop taking those products. So now your estrogen is high and your testosterone is low before it kicks back in, and you have almost like PMS symptoms. You feel like weak, tired, grumpy, headaches, muscle aches. I mean, you name it, it is the worst feeling in the world. And usually if you have a significant other, they're going to be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like within the last 2 weeks, you know, you're sitting there, you're depressed, you know, you're angry, you're agitated easily. All these things are going on, and this is a byproduct of coming off a cycle. This is how it works. When I came off the everything cold turkey, I decided at one point, because tapering never really worked that good for me. So I went no PCT, no nothing, and stopped. And what happened was, for about a month, you know, I'm still training, I'm still getting results because some of those drugs are still in my body. And I'm like, oh, this is not so bad. You know, I'm maintaining pretty good. Maybe I finally, you know, I got the key. Maybe I finally trained long enough on the drugs that when I stopped taking the drugs, they're still going to continue to give me the gains that I had made. That was the first 4 weeks. Now, second 4 weeks, I'm starting to notice decrease in strength, easily agitated. I wouldn't say depressed, but a general feeling of being down most of the time. That's the next 4 weeks. So now you're 8 weeks off of your, you know, cycle, stack, whatever. The third month, the next 4 weeks, much of the muscle had gone down. So now I was probably 215 or 218 when I stopped. I'm down to 189 pounds. Okay, so that's a significant drop. Now, I never stopped training. I never stopped eating the same foods. I never stopped doing anything that I was doing except I stopped the drugs. And lo and behold, now I start to have fat around my abdomen. So I'm like, you know, I'm doing my cardio, I'm eating the clean foods, I'm doing what I have to do, I'm still in the gym training hard, although my strength is taking a huge decline. What am I doing wrong? There was nothing I was doing wrong. That's how long it was taking my body to catch up and realize that the drugs I was taking were no longer there. So now everything tries to go back to homeostasis. It starts to adjust until it says, okay, we don't need that extra muscle mass anymore. We don't need to be that lean because it's not really super healthy to walk around that lean. So let's raise the body fat, let's drop the muscle and go more into like a easily survivable type physique to where you could survive in the wild if you had to, which is what the body's made for. And at that point I realized, I said, you know what, this is bad. Like, this is not good. So at that point I kind of realized there's nothing you're going to be able to do, no matter how strict you are with your diet, no matter what you're doing as far as PCT, which I've done many, many times. None of it is going to work and keep those gains and make you feel like you're still on, or keep your strength up, or keep your body fat down, or make you transition any easier. I did it also use, one time I used something called triptorelin, which is supposed to be this one-shot injection that you take that sets your body back on, hands down, brings your test levels back up to normal, and they stay there. And it works every time, supposedly, for people. Tried that. Guess what? That didn't work either. And then some guys were like, well, you got to try the triptorelin, but preempt that with HCG, then the triptorelin, then continue the HCG, and that's how it's done. Well, so now you're back on two more things. You're on the triptorelin, you're on the HCG. Now you're basically pushing another stack. That didn't work. Then they say, wow, well, here's where you went wrong. You need to start out with HCG through your entire cycle. So every 2 weeks, you go on HCG. So it keeps your testicles working. Then, when you come off, you start your Clomid. So you're on HCG and Clomid. Then you start your Novadex, 20 milligrams a day. Then you start your triptorelin. So now basically you got this complicated stack of anti-estrogens, testosterone boosters, HCG, all this stuff. It's a whole new stack. You're not off drugs. But as soon as you stop that stack of stuff that you're taking, which is your PCT, you get the same effect that I had over that 3-month period. Everything starts to decline, body fat starts to go up, and you feel like you have PMS constantly until your body levels out, which could be, mine was 3 months, it was probably 5-6 months before everything could level out before you feel normal. So if you don't know what's ahead and you're listening to people about how you should be able to maintain this and this is that like that and you're fine, you don't worry about it, and this happens to you like it happened to me, it's going to freak you out. So be aware, what happened to me is what really happens, okay? Not what the people who are telling you it happens, because they're still taking HCG, they're still taking Novadex, they're still taking Clomid. They basically take all kinds of other shit and trick themselves into thinking they're off, or they're on an HRT dose and tell themselves that they're off, and then they tell you that they're off, and then they actually start to believe it so that you believe it, and you guys get the whole system and how it works. So be aware, you come off, you're going to feel like shit. This is how it works. If you're predisposed to depression, it's going to happen. If you're predisposed to suicidal tendencies, it's going to happen. So if these things happen, don't hesitate. Find someone professionally that can help you right away, because I've seen this actually with a few of my friends. They lost their lives because they were messing with stuff like this. biostreet@gmail.com. Leave your comments down below. www.biostreettraining.com, and we're out.